Man, we didn't. Anyway.
No, we'll talk.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey. We back in the building. We still here.
He's here. So what we right now, we gonna play all our track. Then we gonna get it. That's what we gonna do here. So we got it. Thank you enough for what you did for me. Appreciate this song. We can play now. That's all we can play. I'm gonna sleep this damn song.
Yeah. We back in the building.
We have the Raptors. That's the A.G. White. Damon Rodriguez. I brought the Brooklyn Bomb out here today. I brought him out here. I know he's mad for a long time, and I'm glad he came through. So we some
Shout out to A.G. White right there.
We took it already. I think
nothing like this. Yeah, y'all should know the words by now. We done played that 2 million times. You heard?
We live, ladies and gentlemen. We back. Are we live?
Yeah, we good. I got you. We good.
Okay. Today, he came in. Where you came in from today?
Texas.
Dallas. He was in Dallas, Texas. And he'll explain his trip and his journey. But he came all the way out here to check me out. Man was tired, man, getting off the plane. You know, y'all traveled, you know how that is, especially with the weather.
You got jet lag.
He got jet lag.
Time zone, everything.
And he came down here, you know what I'm saying? He gave me his word, he always did. And I'm happy that he came to see me. He does a lot of shows all over the world, all over the country with all different comedians. He knows everyone. He's been there, done it. And he's from Brooklyn.
East New York.
You know
East and West.
Not east of New York. East New York.
You know what I'm saying?
You can already hear it in the accent. You heard?
So without further ado, let him introduce himself before we start going into things and let him know.
Well, it's your boy A.G. White, Puff Daddy, pause. Bad Boys of Comedy. Showtime. I'm glad somebody said my government.
My God,
I'm glad I never did dirt. You know what I mean? Another government and everything. But, Bad Boys of Comedy, Showtime at the Apollo plenty of times, and Showtime's White Boys in the Hood, non-gentrification. I know I look like the landlord's son, but it's what it is. 3 decades in, and I'm loving it like I never left or even had no chances or anything in leaving the game. I just love the 3 decades that I got. And I've been thankful for the journey, like you said, journey. And that's what's up. I like to do a podcast where I don't have to hear the chef. You know what I'm saying? That shit throws me off. I thought I was coming to do a podcast where it's
a chef cast.
You already know. You know.
Son, you ain't telling you.
You already know.
Tiny death fucking comedy. But it's all good.
No, but it's all authentic. It's all real, just like you are. And a testament to your journey. Being who you are, being how you are, and surviving in a game that like you're actually the minority. And you know what I'm saying, in the genre that you survived in. and in the way that you survived. How did coming up through the game? How did that work for you? You know, I know through your authenticity and you know your genuine manner, and you know, growing up in East New York alone, you know what I'm saying, put you in that position, trained you for what you had coming to you. But we had a conversation over the phone, and you gave us a quick. Your man Duke, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. How he gave you, you know, tough love, but the key was that he gave you love.
Absolutely. And the wild part about it is, you know, I sit back and I watch gentrification unfold, right? And the crazy thing was, we were the family that never took white flight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a 3-time gentrification survivor. Yeah, that.
He said like loser.
Yeah, no, I'm a 3-time gentrification. That's a good one too. I like that. I ain't no 3-time loser, but I'm a 3-time gentrification survivor. And let me break it down. So what happened was, in the early 70s, it was all Jewish, like Crown Heights Jewish, right? Then of course, Jews moved out in the late 70s. They went to Florida. You know, white folks, when they retire or move out the hood, they go to Florida. Black folks go to North Carolina, South Carolina, right? We go a little further south. We go right to West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So the late 70s, when I was coming up, because I'm a 70s baby, 1970 to be exact. So when we were coming up, it was all Jewish. Then, of course, when I really was getting my chops, you know what I'm saying? It was the mid 70s, early 80s, and that was African American. Now it's just straight gentrification, you know, the Renaissance type thing, where I ain't getting water, no shit like that. I already put that shit on my rider, dog. I want everything. I even got white on him. I was like, I want a Diet Coke.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, so like I said, you know, I'm, you know, being in East New York all these years, you know, 3 decades, I'm a homeowner. Of course, got the house through generational wealth. You know, my pops worked for the government. You know, no Fed or nothing like that, but he worked for the post office. And the crazy thing was, and this is what I always talk about, and I want everybody to hear this. See, so if you do the inner city, being Caucasian, and you're doing it for dolo, if I'm doing it one-on-one against the hood, there was no way I was winning. All right, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because I had an older brother who knew all the old heads. Then me, I was the middle brother, and then I had a younger brother. So the younger brother knew all the young kids. I knew the kids my age, and my older brother knew everybody his age. So it's not like I had to go through the streets of East New York, New Lots Avenue. I'm doing this solo dolo.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that just that crutch of having an older brother and a younger brother, and us, you know, getting along with everybody from the hood. Plus, they thought we were connected. You know what I'm saying? So, brother, they didn't want to do all that shit, but you know, it was love. It was love. And I was just with Raekwon last night, right out in Dallas, and the crazy thing was, you know, he said something to me. I'm 54, and I'll never forget this shit as long as I live. He said, "Yo, dog." He said, "You know, we got a mutual friend in the kid Duke, who grew up right across the street in the projects." And let me tell y'all something. I ain't grow up in the projects, but I grew up across the street from the projects. And you want to hear some ill shit? I never went to the projects. I was that family where we would facilitate the hood in all sporting equipment, right? So the hood would come to our house, and we would give them the football helmets, the footballs, and everything. We used to put our name on the shit, like, return this motherfucker, you know. And not only that, we would give football helmets, because again, like I said, I had an older brother and a younger brother. So if we didn't want to play, yeah, you hold that. You know what I mean? So again, just, you know, seeing what's going on nowadays, and white folks moving in these inner cities and changing the whole landscape, so to speak, that shit irks my nerves, because it's like you looking at me like you're new, and I'm like, motherfucker, I'm as old as these street poles, motherfucker. So, you know, them coming in, you know, it's like, why you here? Stay where you were. But you know what I realized too? A lot of these kids that are coming in, you ever notice when you see gentrification now, you're like, how the hell did they get here? You know how they do it? They come in the middle of the night, 1 o'clock in the morning, with a fucking U-Haul truck. We sleeping, we tired, we don't see the shit. They coming in 1 in the morning. And next thing you know, you got 5 white neighbors. It's like, yo, where did they come from? So I don't feel any type of, I don't want to sound like I'm double talking. I don't feel any type of way about gentrification, but I'm feeling if you come into the inner city, and you know who said it best? I don't know if y'all heard this lyric. Q-Tip said it best. And I'm gonna break this shit down. That shit hit so hard that I'll never forget it. He said, I just used it. Let's say neighbors. No N-word. I don't. We keep the N out. You know, I even got it my stand up. I don't fucking N-word. Got to the point where I don't fuck with anything with N in the shit. Woman name could be Nikki. I'll be like, hi, Nikki. So Q-Tip said it best. He said, niggas in the hood living in a fishbowl. Think about it, right? Little one-bedroom apartment shit is tiny as shit. Niggas in the hood living in a fishbowl. Gentrify it, now it's not a shithole.
Wow.
When they come in, oh, this is beautiful. I love it. No, fucking, it's still the same bullshit. But now you coming in here and you trying to, you know,
whitewash it.
Good word, whitewash it, right? Exactly, and that's I guess because I'm speaking from an urban lens. I don't really, you know, I just don't. If you're gonna come in, motherfucking work with us. Make sure that you support black business. And I've been supporting black business for 4 years. You know, we started with scriptures, so I always support a black business. I don't do nothing white, right? You already know. Say, I eat Oreo cookie. I throw away the cream filling.
Yo, but I met you, man. Let me tell you something. I met you years ago.
Right.
But, you know, I don't even want to go. You can say where we met. But,
Yeah, that part there, I just said it.
right. I used to have a club.
It was a red light special.
So anyway,
Discount on the pinky toe.
so I didn't know who he was. I really didn't know at the time. You might have just thought
You tapped me, man. You were like, Wyatt? I was like, comedian.
because they coming in. I didn't know who he was. Right? They came in the spot. So I mean, I never knew he was white. I really didn't know he was white till last night.
Well, let me.
His explanation is valid, though.
I'm telling you.
Go ahead, say why.
When you listen, this guy, I never looked at him like that because you don't talk like that. You don't act like that. He didn't give me, and first it was dark. Most of the time he was in my club. So I never, when I got a chance to meet him, he didn't talk like, you know, most white guys have like some the words that they say.
Dialect.
Yeah, the dialect is a little off, and you can.
Their
But
accent.
you ain't got none of that. You didn't have none of that, and you just told me what you told me you Jewish. You told me you Jewish. I said, damn, I thought you was Spanish.
You
I thought you meant if you good. I thought maybe Latin, you know, Spanish, whatever. But look at him. He's Puerto Rican. You don't look. You look like you Moreno.
That's
You
true.
look like a
I
Cocolo.
think he's African
You look
American.
like a Cocolo. You look like a
Both of my
Cocolo.
parents are Puerto Rican.
Really?
He's really. That's what I'm saying. So
See, that's what I'm saying. I thought this was Steve Hollister. Give up.
he said,
He said, "How they gonna do that?"
you know, we got a brief when you talk to these guys that be on these shows and TV shows. You have to talk to them because you can't just come up here and say anything. You got to know what he's going to say. What he, you know, you
You
got
gotta respect. You gotta
So
respect.
yesterday we had a conversation, so we briefed him a little bit. So that's what that was about.
And he lied.
Last week I was here when Cena and him was going on him. It was getting him. It was going in on him. So I said, okay, I got AG right. I'm gonna wait till AG get here, and then I'm gonna do it to him. And I called AG last night. I said, yo, we gotta go against you. I seen him coming. We gonna do this. He said,
Something like what?
No, you been here.
So that's what, so that's what it was. So
No, but
you go on tour with a lot of different. I see with a lot of different comedians. Tell me something.
well,
Who's the funniest one you like working with?
I like them all, man. I like them all. But you see, you know what it is? I like to equate my style and my position in the game as basketball that everybody's watching now. Like, I'm the sixth man. You know what I mean? I don't have the numbers to put asses in seats, but the folks that I work with, they put asses in seats, and I'm the one that comes out and does 30 minutes out the gate, gets the crowd going, and they bring it home in an hour. So, of course, Lunel, I work with Lunel. We're working on some projects together too. She's got a lot of irons in the fire. Adele Givens, one of the queens of comedy, I work with her, and I just finished 2 weekends with Russell Peters, who's like world renowned, world famous Russell Peters. I mean, this guy is like top 10 grossing comedians in the world. Indian comedian. I don't even say Indian. I don't even want to say Indian. He's such a hip brother that's so freaking well-rounded as far as stand-up. A lot of people get it misconstrued. Like these new comedians, and I'm going to say this, like these new comedians, I don't know where they learned how to do the art of stand-up, but people get it misconstrued where they literally could just go up there, grab a mic, and just start talking to people and think that they're going to be funny. That's not how comedy is written. When I started with Tracy Morgan, J.B. Smoove, and a couple of others out of the Uptown Comedy Club, and we learned what stand-up comedy is about. Now, I'm going to share this with everybody, and we can go back to it being from our school days, right? Remember when we have to write an essay for the class, right? We have to do our presentation. We got our introduction, we got our body, and then we got our closing, right? That's exactly how stand-up comedy is done. But a lot of these comedians, they just feel, they give me a mic, I'm just going to talk, I'm going to put my hand under my arm, use the mic here, and just start talking shit and think it's going to work. It does not work like that. Jokes are written, and I always share this with all the when I do the career days and stuff like that, I explain to the kids how when jokes are written, and you can watch any YouTube video after you leave me tonight, jokes, professional jokes are written in a form called PSP, right? I don't know, people getting excited. Drug, right? PSP over there. But the PSP, the first P stands for premise. It stands for premise. Premise means what are you talking about? Give you an example. I'm from East New York. That's the premise, East New York. Okay, well, what about East New York, Brooklyn? Then you got to give them. Yeah, this movement shit kills me. Hey, brother Harold, how you doing? All right. Hey, let that slide out early. No. All right. So look. So again, what's the thing? PSP, right? Premise, setup, punchline. So the premise is what are you talking about? Then you have to set up what you are talking about, and then you got to give them the punchline. Okay, I'm gonna give you one right here. So premise, setup, punchline. That's how jokes are written. I don't care. You can watch Kevin Hart. You can watch anything. He's got long premises. His premise is long, and his setup's are long, but he gives you a punchline. So, but when we came up at Uptown Comedy Club in Harlem, we learned that we got to give them the PSP very quick. So here's an example. Yo, I'm from Brooklyn. I'll do this across the country. I'm from Brooklyn. And I tell you, man, when you're from Brooklyn, man, things in your neighborhood are usually different. Man, they shot and killed a Jehovah's Witness right in front of the Kingdom Hall. Crazy thing is, cops. I'm gonna break hold on, let me just do this. I'm gonna break everything down after I say the joke, and then we can just dissect it. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So once again, P is the premise, S is the what? Set, and what's the last P? Punchline. Right, so boom. I'm from Brooklyn, man. And my neighborhood, man, my neighborhood's so bad. You know your neighborhood's bad when things in your neighborhood are usually different, man. They shot and killed a Jehovah's Witness right in front of the Kingdom Hall. Crazy thing was, cops still looking for the killer. All those witnesses? Ain't nobody witnessed nothing. So what's the premise? What's the premise? Bad neighborhood, and I'm setting it up where you know your neighborhood's bad. They shot and killed because a Jehovah's Witness in front of the Kingdom Hall. See, Kingdom Hall. So now I'm setting it up. Now I got to give them the what? Punchline. So a lot of these comedians that are coming up, they never knew what form to do. They're just off the cuff. And then some of them gravitate towards actually learning how to write material, and that's when they get better.
But ain't speeches like that too?
Well, I don't really, well, again, like I said, it's your introduction. Your first joke, no matter what, it's got to be, you got to capture the audience. The body, you can, let's see, foot around and shit like that. But your closing, you got to nail your closing. So your opening, your body, and then the closing. But the opening and the closing's got to stick.
One thing I've learned, 'cause I love comedians and I've always watched them.
PSP.
Yeah. But one thing I've also learned is that timing is everything. Because I've seen comedians do the same joke and it went well because the timing was so good the first time, and then it didn't go off so well because their timing was just like a little off. And sometimes that little off timing messes with. So part of the craft too.
Excellent point. I'm going to elaborate on that. That was a white word, right? Elaborate. I'm going to elaborate on what you said. So when we write jokes, right? We write it in the PSP form. We'll present it, right? First time, it kills or it works good. You're like, yes, I'm gonna keep it. Second time we try it. We got to try a joke 3 times in order for it to be in our repertoire, right? So what you do is you try it the first time. Like you said, sometimes it don't work. So that first time it don't work, you're like, damn, I like this joke. I believe in this joke, but I'm gonna do it again. You do it again. The second time you do it, it works. You try it a third time. If it works that third time, 2 out of 3, you keep it in your repertoire, right? If the shit don't work twice in a row, let that shit go. It's a 3-time try. 2 out of 3 is good. 2 out of 3 is good. 2 out of 3 is good.
I noticed like a lot of comedians. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of y'all, and there's a lot of jokes. So I'm just trying to figure out where they be. Like, I mean, because do they copy? Like, you might be you're running over somebody else's joke or remake it or something, because like some of these jokes stick so good that you have to try to more or less put it in to relive it again, or somebody don't have as many jokes as other guys.
You never retire your jokes. You know what I mean? Because you travel to the through the 50 states. But you can't write local shit. Right, and that's why I try to explain to these young comedians. You're talking about being on the 3 train at New Lots. Motherfuckers in Dallas, Texas, don't know the 3 train at New Lots. Right. You know what I mean? So all that train material, party done. It's a wrap. But you gotta write nationwide material. Everybody knows JWs. They're all over the world. And I talk about, like we were talking about being Jewish, right? Where I tell the audience, I grew up in the hood. I'm Jewish. I'm not foster care Jewish. I'm not Child Protective Services Jewish. I ain't George Santos Jewish. Right? You know what I mean? I'm Jewish. Same mother, same father, but we didn't grow up religious. So I don't celebrate Hanukkah. And then I thought Hanukkah growing up was a chick name in the projects. Because she had a twin Monica. Scorpio. So just shit like that. See, so what is it now? I talked about being Jewish, right? That's the premise. Give them the setup. I didn't celebrate Hanukkah. I thought Hanukkah was a chick name in the project. Boom. Wow. So the PSP, and people can not wake up, sis. Thank you. Long day. I saw you not, and I know you're too young not to deal with that. Okay. Other than that, you ain't interested. It happens, sis. I've been there, done that. Like anyway, yeah. See, that's the thing that gets me, because you know what? And I realize, y'all, comedy truly is subjective, no question. But you know what? I like to equate stand-up comedy into fast food restaurants, right? Everybody, billions of people eat at McDonald's, right? I don't care for McDonald's. I don't eat McDonald's. But does that make them a terrible fast food restaurant? No. So motherfuckers could look at me or Gary Owen and be like, oh, Gary, man, that boy, he be doing his thing. And then if somebody's like, he is so truly authentic. One time I met him, And I kid you not, man, this mofo had the audacity to tell me, I met his peoples, man. He said, you know what? My friends think you're too black. And what the fuck are you doing? This motherfucker fixed his fucking face to tell me, my friends think you're too black. Nah, motherfucker, this is me. This is me. But see, this is what I'm saying. It's called show business for a reason. 20% is the show, 80% is the business.
Right.
Show part of it, I love it. The business part, I can't stand because everybody, I'd say, and maybe you can attest to this as a business entrepreneur, man, I'd say about 70% of these mofos are truly, truly, truly gatekeepers. Gatekeepers, man. They don't want to see you blow. Like a Russell Peters. Russell Peters, that motherfucker, he told me, he said, AG, he put his hand on my arm, gave me my check from the club, gave me my check, and then he gave me a check on top of that. He said, AG, he calls me Jigga. Jigga, I love to see my people win. I love to see my people win. That's the same way I am. Look, Raekwon the chef said, he said, I don't judge anybody, man. You know what I judge? I judge this. Judge the heart. If you're a good dude, you're going to get somewhere. That's why, and it tears me up because, a lot of people will look at me like, oh, yeah, that motherfucker, whatever. But they don't know I got a good heart. I take care of I used to produce comedy events in East New York with the movie theater. 12 years. I still got people coming up to me to this day that tell me, AG, man, I met my wife at your show. That's how long we had it. At the Linden Boulevard Multiplex, which now they sold to, a food bazaar.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, there's just a lot of people in this game that are just so full of shit. And you see right through them. But you know what, though? I realize, Famo, it's just, stay the course, man. Stay the course. Yeah.
But something that I've noticed and that I've seen throughout time is that people have a tendency of not realizing their blessings. We were just talking about that earlier. You are a super successful person in your realm. So even if there are gatekeepers and this, that, and the third, the testament is that none of it stopped you from being successful and doing your thing for about 30 years or more. Mm-hmm. So honestly, it doesn't matter who's trying to stop you or block you and all that. If you stay the course, if you do what you're meant to do and you do what you're supposed to do, your blessings, your shine, everything will come to you that you deserve, and everything that don't come to you, maybe it's not yours. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't belong to you. So why cry over something that doesn't belong to you, that's not yours, when you should be humble and respectful to what you do have and what you are receiving? Because you they call you AG, but to me you ACG. You a comedic guy. You know what I'm saying? You've done it long enough to deserve the accolades and the platform that you receive. No, but I'm being honest. I'm being serious. Like, all jokes aside, like sometimes we forget how blessed we are because we think about how stressed we are. You know what I mean? You think about the stresses instead of the blessings. And you don't realize that, like I said, everything that look what you survived. A Jewish person, a Jewish family across the street from the projects. There's nothing in the script that says you should have survived that. Okay. So again, you were accepted, you were loved, you were received, you received your badge, you received your swag, you received everything about you was because you were an anomaly. And that was the word.
Yeah, I like it. I gotta agree with that one. I thought he said monopoly. We are monopoly.
Trying to monopolize. And you survived something that typically, a lot of people didn't survive. How many people that passed away or just are no longer here, just off of less, not just being different, but you stood out, but you stood up. And that's the most important part. So I like the fact that you're here and you're able to tell your story. But your story is not a story about how somebody gatekept and kept you out of something. If anything, God or whatever you choose to call your higher power kept you in your place. and your place is successful. You just got off a flight. You talking about all the successful people that you spoke to. You've been around, toured with, and did your thing. You lived a fruitful life.
Right on.
You did your thing. So you're blessed, and I appreciate to be around the blessings. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it.
You know, I just,
Don't leave me hanging.
Ready.
hey, I just like to think, you know, you came. I can bring that up again. You came all the way from
Texas.
and I know how far that is. That's a long damn ride.
Hour trip back, 4 hours going.
Going 500 miles per
And
hour.
it gave me, you know, and there's people that told me, oh, I'll be doing this. I'll come.
There's people on Red Hook.
This man came all the way from Texas and gave me his word. You know what I mean? And I just got a lot of respect for that.
And you want to show you how old he is. He got here late.
Yeah.
He can't even on other people's time. So you are 50.
Listen, I'm late because you're over 50, goddammit. You need that buck and a half, 2 hour nap. I'm coming off the
Some of the young people know about that.
I'm
Yeah.
carrying product, merchandise.
Exactly.
Shit.
And I was saying, to
Yes,
me,
sir.
stand-up comedy is the hardest business. To me, because the movies and music, anybody can do music. But with comedy, once you're on stage, if you're not funny, you're not funny. And I see people who can't picture. They don't stage at all. They just like.
Well, in fairness to what you're saying, and for those folks that are talking in the back,
And one more thing,
Keep it down, please.
they have the highest IQ.
One more, a couple minutes.
You know,
absolutely.
But they have a different
they have the
perspective.
highest IQ.
Well, in fairness to what you're saying, this is what I go back to what I call social medians, right? They're comedians on social media.
Put a social media on stage.
When you have a thing on social media, it's called a pause button, right? Or a retake, and a retake, and another retake until you get it right. And then all of a sudden you put it on the camera, boom, 15 seconds, there's your fame, yada, yada, yada. I say all of that in fairness to what you're saying is there's no safety net in comedy.
Not on that
You know what I mean?
stage.
You walk in that, but see, it goes back to if you have structure, like with the PSP, in which I learned, you can't.
It's hard to go wrong.
It's hard to go wrong. When you got the fundamentals, exactly. When you got the fundamentals, it's hard to go wrong. It's just, again, like we were saying, it's all in your delivery as well.
Absolutely.
If I believe in the joke that I wrote, I'm gonna present it like the way I feel, right? Grew up East New York. You know your neighborhood's bad. Shit with police. Pause. Right, not pause, but I'm saying pause from a comedic standpoint. You know your neighborhood's bad. Shit when police pull each other over.
Yep.
Right. So see how I delivered that because I felt that because I seen it. Right. Police pull each other over. Then you got a thing called that I want to tell y'all that you can watch any particular comedian. You got the PSP, but you also got these things called taglines. And what we learned is when you tag a joke, which means you add on to the joke, but you can only do 3 tags after a punchline. Then it becomes overkill. It becomes overkill. So, for example, like I say, let's just dissect. With the Jehovah's Witness, I said all those witnesses, ain't nobody witnessed nothing. All I'm saying is them JWs got to get on their JOBs. See, so that's a tagline to the punchline with all those witnesses.
3 times.
Right? You can put, so you can watch any video. We can pull up something right now and we can dissect it and I can show you exactly where his setup is and when his punchline's coming. Wow. That's it. But a lot of these young comedians, I gotta explain, and I always go back to the young comedians because they feel that they have it figured out.
They're entitled. They're entitled. They think if somebody laughed at them.
I
So-
show them a week. I'm like a bar, and I see, I'll say maybe like 40 comedians. I'll say only 5 was good. And some of them have been in business for like 7 years, like 8 years.
Because they don't want to learn how to structure their material. You know, and then not only that, like I said, comedy's a funny essay. You can't go from talking about Jehovah's Witnesses to the 3 Train.
Yeah.
Where's the segue? Where's the transition? There's words that you could use, and you could say, like, for example, I just don't want to talk about the Jays, but since we're talking about the premise, right? You could say, you know, and it's funny because I think the one that died, I've seen him on the 3 Train 2 weeks ago. So now you got the segue into what about the trains now? And speaking of these trains, boom. So it's just a couple of words that you can use, not just, you know, so, and the 3 Train, and so it's like, where's the
Like a
segue?
bridge, like we got to.
Yeah, exactly. You have to, you know, you gotta get on the highway and get off that exit, and then if you want to jump back on the highway, you gotta wait for the cut in to go into the onto the highway.
So for you doing comedy for so long, what has kept you motivated throughout the years? You know, because there's so many pitfalls, there's so many, you know, bumps in the road. There's so many things that do try to block, and that's just natural with anything in life. Things are gonna try to prevent you and stop you from achieving your goals. What has kept you motivated to keep doing it? Because touring life is crazy. On the plane, on a bus, in a car, on a train.
Yeah, on the 3 Train.
You know what I mean? Getting here late. You know all that. How does it? How does it?
Where's the salt?
No, I'm only my second time. You said I get 3. No, you said I get 3.
Right, exactly.
So honestly though, what keeps, because you still have good energy about you, and it feels like you're still passionate about what you're doing. So what's guiding you and encouraging you to continue doing what you do?
Simply, it's my vice. I don't have too many vices. I don't smoke. I don't drink. So those are not my vices. Like, you know, that's where a lot of comedians go wrong too. They drink. They can't get up for a flight. They miss the flight. The promoter's out of their plane ticket. So it's just a, like, I love doing it because I love to make people laugh. Literally, I know it sounds corny and cliche,
No, not at all.
but I love to see people laugh because, you know, laughter is the best medicine. And I don't know, you know what? I totally forgot. I told y'all I was going to bring y'all hoodies. I got this thing called Comedy is a Bare Necessity, where, in fairness to you, and I know you do a lot of stitching, right? You do the professional stitching. I reached out. I like this, man.
Yes.
I really, truly
As soon as
do.
he came in,
And
the first thing he said, he didn't even say
Good. Good. I would like to talk to you about that because what I did was, because comedy it's a business, but also, you know, there's other parts to the business, other moving pieces to the business, and merchandise is one. You know, a lot of these comedians, they don't want to take the time out to create something valuable and tangible where they could sell it. So even when the pandemic hit, you know, people were lost. They were looking for something to do to make them feel good, and they would watch YouTube videos to laugh. Everybody's got that poster in the house: live, love, laugh, right? So nobody ever talks about comedy, truly stand-up comedy, being a bare necessity. So I reached out to my homie that started the brand, Aniche. Remember Aniche, y'all? Aniche, Lady Aniche? There's a couple of cats that started the brand, but the one that was really the one behind the brand, and I know Tony Shellman's my guy. He started the brand with the kid Evan Davis. So I reached out to him. I sat down with him. I said, listen, man, you know, in fairness to what I got going on right here, I need you to help me with this concept, right? Where I put a bear that looks like me, and let me this, you know, I got so many things on my mind. All right, so we talked about the pandemic, right? Comedy being a bare necessity. So everybody knows the bare necessities in life, right? They're food, clothing, water, shelter, and sleep. Those are the 5 bare necessities. Nobody talks about, like I said, nobody talks about comedy being a bare necessity. I created the bear. He was like, yo, what do you want me to do with this? This shit looks fly. I said, yo, come on. I said, you've been doing this shit 30 years in the streetwear game. Come on. I need you to punch this up. In baseball terms, I told him, I said, I went 7 innings with this concept. I need you to go to 8th inning, the 9th inning, give me this dub. So I don't know if you could pull it up. You could go to my Instagram.
You seen that?
Yeah. So I created. Yeah.
It's real nice.
Yes.
And I don't know. It reminded me of the
You can say it. It's okay.
Polo, but yours clearly it's not like it. I really, really like it. The details and everything. A bare necessity. I saw the whole
It's a
thing.
double entendre.
Yeah.
And then, because again, that's wordplay, that's punchlines. Like, oh, I like that.
It's
And it's a
unique.
bear. And
It's distinct. It's not like the Ralph Lauren bear.
Mhm.
It's very distinct. I saw it.
And you know what I learned by meeting with him? Because he looked at it, he said, why does this bear remind me of something? He thought it wasn't the polo bear. It wasn't, he thought it was the Ted bear.
Yeah.
Ted?
Yeah.
With Donnie Wahlberg. So he was like, listen, here's how we're going to do it. And he explained to me on how polo actually does their bears. Do y'all know when you see a polo bear, the polo bear's face never, and you could, this is 1,000. The polo bear's face never looks at you straight ahead. He always looks at you on a right angle, right? That's 15% or more that wouldn't be infringed upon if we did our bear. So my bear looks you right in the face. We from Brooklyn. You notice I got the arm behind the waist and everything. So I mean, he taught me all of that. He didn't have to do that, but he's my guy. He's the sponsor. He's to sponsor my events and everything. And he's a dynamite guy that, again, taking a page out of what I said, I want to see you win. I got you. But he told me, he said, listen, in order for it not to be infringed upon or a cease and desist, we got to do everything 15% or more. If you look at my AG White on the what's call it on the shirt, y'all can go to my Instagram, comedian AG White. It's right there. I wore it last night, the hoodie. But the AG White is kind of sort of like the polo font, the thin face. But we did some concaving and tweaking and everything like that, so it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
And that's why he said, I got you, but we cannot. We gotta create the bear. And also another thing too, with the bear, the kid that created the bear, he put in this contract that you could do anything you want around the face of the bear, but you cannot.
Set the body. Smart.
You could change the body. You could change the body, add clothes, do whatever you want. You could put a tennis racket for Wimbledon, but the face never changes.
Yeah.
And that's why with mine, my face will never change. It'll be the glasses with the regular, teddy bear look. And I just learned so much. I learned another thing too that I got so much.
Are they embroidered or they just print?
No, they're print, but we did this. We did it now because I ran a small numbers, like only 72 at a time and stuff like that. We did a DTF, which is more where everybody says
Direct to film,
which is now, believe it or not, is the eco-friendly way of printing now. Because that screen print, that goes up in the.
No, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna educate some people on this because a lot of people don't know this. When you do that, but when you do the screen printing, the ink that you're using, you need a mask. You actually need a mask to put that on. So you putting that on your body. When somebody do your shirts for you, you say, "I do screen printing." You putting it on a t-shirt, so you sweating, and that ink goes inside your pores. So you don't look at over a duration of time how your body, your bloodstream, and what the ink goes in your bloodstream because that's a lot of lead in there.
Yeah. It's a carcinogen.
Right. So that's where you gotta understand. That's why the director film don't go. It applies on top of the shirt. Where if you go in with a screen printing, the actual shirt when you look through it, you can almost see through the. Take the shirt and turn it around.
Yeah.
You can see almost the back.
Cheaper though.
It's about cheap is not what you want it for. Cheap is definitely cheap, but cheap was killing you though.
Yeah.
You understand? This is the reason. Well, what they didn't do when they changed everything, they didn't tell you why they changed. They tell you that it was the ink that made you change.
Yeah.
They saying the ink because the ink it clogs the machine up. That's the excuse. But they didn't ever tell you the hell why. Because if you did that, how many people you know that'll get sued?
Yeah.
You got cancer. You got all these different things going on.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful what you put on your body that's going to touch into your skin. So that's why he's saying that's called DTF. direct the film. One of them is direct the garment.
Yeah, DTG.
Direct the garment, so you'll know what that is. That means that the ink is going to put onto your garment. It sits on your garment.
That's good. We don't know.
You know what I mean? But when you do screen printing, you actually taking the ink, you buying ink, and then you spreading it on the shirt, just like this. And then you cook it. So now when you sweating, you go without your sweating, and you're gonna get that. That's what that is. So anyway, that's all I wanted to tell you. Education.
How important is it to be able to read a room and freestyle as a comedian?
I don't like the word freestyle because remember I learned that
Structure
you have to have structure.
Structure from
Freestyle is more, some comedians look to go into the audience to address anybody in the audience.
Ad-lib.
That's more of just what's called. Again, I deal with structure. So if you talk about freestyle, there's no freestyle with me. My freestyle is just presenting it. I don't like
You're
the
such a
freestyle.
professional. You just freestyle a few times, to be honest with you.
Well, you can, but you mean the whole set?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, he's just saying like if you read the room.
Oh, of course. Well, but then again, you never know how somebody might take it. You know what I mean? So the freestyle,
Pictures.
yeah, exactly. Like, but honestly, again, going back to what I was saying with the comedy, no more than 3, and then you got to learn from whatever you just said to segue back into your material, because sometimes your observation right here in front of you, your snaps, what we call snaps, might be funnier than your material. Now you're stuck.
And you get lost and you don't know.
Right. And you don't know how to regroup. Exactly. So that's why I don't really go into the audience. If I do it, it's because somebody, brought it on. I'll address it, but then go back into my ish.
Because then you make them more important than your set.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody have any questions? Because
But and please, I want you to just repeat your your Instagram, your Facebook handles, and all that stuff, because let's do this man right and make sure that each of us are following him, and because he's obviously working hard. So go on your phone, and y'all should have done it with the other guests that we had here. Make sure y'all follow these people, show them the support, give them reactions, and let other people know that this man came through like a king that he is and showed love.
Rain, when everybody else, a lot of people couldn't make it. He made it his business, and he told me, he said, "Yo, listen, I'm tired, but I'm still gonna make it." And like I said, I really appreciate it, man. You
Absolutely.
And it was worth your wait.
I like the audience. I like the audience. I like the audience. This is crazy that because when I'm used to a podcast, I'm just used to us in the studio vibing, yada yada yada. But the fact that you had the studio audience, this is my first one. The studio audience, man.
The people's podcast.
I love it, man. I love it, yo. It's
and if you notice, every time, like you said, kept saying segue, we transitioned from one professional to another, and each professional was able to connect with the next professional up until right now. Until our last guest.
That's what the purpose of when we
That's
started.
I would like to really talk to you about that stitching, because I want all of mine are one-on-ones because it was done by me. And in fairness to what we discussed as far as like the bear, right? I learned this thing called emotional marketing, right? And I had to learn this, and somebody brought it to my attention. But with the bear, people look at the bear like, oh, that's so nice. I like it. So it's the emotional side, right? So even if you don't buy it, you have a son that might want to wear that, or you have a daughter, that loves a hoodie just in general. But the bear, you like the bear, and you buy it. But then there's this thing called the ethos, ETHOS marketing portion of it, where I wear my shirt on stage and I explain to them on how I derived at the bear, right? When everybody talks about bare necessities in life, but nobody talks about comedy being a bare necessity.
Laughter, joy.
Right. So that's why I created that. People say, oh, the emotional side, the ethos side. You know what? Let me get 2 of those.
Right.
And I will make sure that I get y'all.
Yeah, you
Save. I don't have the duvet.
So we
I really think you can get into the 3X.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Slim, big
I'm getting slim. I'm flipped up a little bit.
but that's the 3X.
Hold on.
No,
Is that a 3X?
no, but I got stuff under this.
You got stuff under that?
Got stuff under
What is
this.
that? What's that?
Do this.
4X.
No, I really think you can get into a 3X.
Yeah, I could. I'm just.
I'll
So
give it
you,
to you.
while you in the city,
Yeah.
are you performing anywhere anytime soon that maybe everybody can come check you out?
I have a Wednesday spot in the East, in East New York. It's called Mr. B's Lounge. It's like a second floor. You know, I do it. We do it once a month. It's the neighborhood thing. Just, you know, it's a form of giving back and everything like that. So it's Mr. B's. It's on Workman Avenue, 558 Workman Avenue. Then I go to Rotterdam and Amsterdam Friday, Saturday. Come back, and then I'm with Lunel at the Majestic Theater in Dallas, Texas.
What's up, race play? What's up with race play?
Are you bringing
How
up
you
those?
That was.
Nah, Ray spot is 275 Park. Right over here on Washington and Park Avenue. Yeah.
You talking about the back of what's the name?
Mhm.
So that's how Brooklyn.
Yeah. He's still over there.
I know, he been having like he
He
has,
does it Wednesdays, right? Wednesdays through Saturdays, I think.
and then I think once a month he has
You trying to
like
get I think JP to.
he has some things going on in there like
Actually, it's that you got about tickets for it.
What's that?
Mr. Beach.
Mr. B's is I think it's $20. Yeah. But it's a real intimate room.
Yeah.
Like everybody's right there.
I love that. That's the best way to enjoy it.
As an artist, like this right here, I love them. Matter of fact, speaking of Red Hook, I did a couple of shows here at this rehab center on 411 Van Brunt. They got a halfway. It's a
They do?
drug treatment. Drug
Nobody
treatment
clapped
center.
everybody. Nodded.
No, but I'm saying I did it because you know.
They nodded in appreciation.
Before you get to the bench, let me pull up.
yeah, this guy.
They nodded and appreciated.
Yeah, please get this guy shaved, man. I swear, yeah, he want to be a
Like
rapper.
six.
Yeah, he wants to be a rapper.
You was at the center. Like you He got one more time to tease you. Remember, everything in threes. He got one more.
Remember, y'all, if you learn anything, we learned it tonight. It's the P, premise, setup.
And that comes in threes.
No, well, yeah, it comes in threes, but also, if a joke is that funny, you will see the comedian tag it, but only use we'll only use 3 or less to tag the joke. To tag the joke. It's called a tag. So you got your punchline, and then you got your taglines. Then you got a thing, one last thing called the catchphrase. Kevin Hart, all right, all right, all right. You know what I mean? So
What's your catchphrase?
not right now. But I don't use it that much. When I first started, I was trying to hold it. Not right now. No, for real, but not right now. White always gonna be right. Not right now.
I really like that.
Who you think you like? Not right now.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So, anything? Any questions? Any questions that we talk about?
Does anybody have
I'm a cancer
for the legend? For the legend,
AG
White. Yes.
You know, it's
So the show Mr. P's on Tuesday.
Yeah.
when they say you
Wednesday,
dream big, man. You got to dream big, man.
So this Wednesday you repeat it.
Got to dream big. We here at the Rapture's restaurant. Rapture has a remarkable. The food is off the hook. And
Wait, we got a question, sir.
we got a question. Okay.
If somebody was thinking about becoming a comedian, what would you say is one thing they would have to have? Like they have to have this one thing in order for them to be a successful comedian.
Good question. What they would have to have is humor in their life. Like, you know, if you feel you're funny, take the lead. I never stop anybody from trying it. A lot of folks, you know, just don't last. But in fairness to what I said before, it's show business. 20% is only the show. It's the business side that a lot of people fall by the wayside because they don't know etiquette. They don't know to follow up. They don't know. And then some comedians are very aggressive, and it kind of turns off whoever they're dealing with. So you kind of sort of, it's like a slippery slope. But in fairness to what you're saying, you just got to have it in you. If you feel that this is what you want to do, go for it. But you have to learn that there is an art to it.
I thought, to add to what you were saying, I think you need to have a certain stage presence about you. That regardless of where you are, regardless of what you're doing, you have stage presence. Like even right here, there's not a stage here, but he's commanding this audience. And just wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you create that type of energy, I think it'll give you an opportunity to succeed. Not saying it's guaranteed, but if you got that stage presence, if you have that ability to bring that type of energy to the game, it gives you at least a fair chance to succeed and to win at being on that. Because a lot of people, like when the camera's on, a lot of people don't know how to be themselves. A lot of people step on the stage, don't know how to be themselves. Sometimes people enjoy intimate conversation. Sometimes people see a lot of faces and they fold. But when you have that energy and it's consistent, I think it allows you to be brilliant and be great in any environment.
Absolutely.
And being yourself.
And you know what I learned too? There's in comedy, there's two types of comedy. There's urban comedy, which is the Mike Epps of the world. And then there's the mainstream comedy, which is like the Jerry Seinfeld. But then there's the Chris Rocks who can cater to both, right? And what I learned, and I just did it, we had 6 shows, sold out shows at the Addison Improv in Addison, Texas, right? I learned that my material is golden. Even though it's urbanized, I learned that if you slow it down, because, as an urban comic, we learned that motherfuckers need that instant gratification. Make me laugh, motherfucker. You know what I mean? That New York shit. But across the country, you can't be aggressive with them. You got to spoon feed it to them. And I learned that my material is crazy because I've got characters, I got everything, and I'm from the streets of Brooklyn. But now I just got to slow it down. Just like with fashion, right? Not everything sells that will sell in New York will sell in Seattle, right? You just got to tweak it a little bit, but it's still the same concept.
We had a question over there.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, love.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name, love?
Mary J.
Jackie.
No, you remind me. Yes, sis.
That's right, Jack. I live in Brownsville now, so I'm right across the street from me.
Never ran, never will.
Never.
Ever. Never, ever. Never, ever.
But I just want to go back on what you said, my love.
Yes.
When you said command, I don't think it's more so a command. Because see, I love to make people laugh too, and I'm not even looking to be a comedian. It's just in my soul. I love to see people laugh because laughter goes straight to your soul. And if you can control the crowd, not command it, you got the wrong word. You got to control it. Because see, I'm substance abuse, and I control what I do at my job. Right. And when you can control it, you got the crowd. It's yours, no matter what you say and how you say it.
Well, the definition of command is control. So no, I'm just saying, when I say command, it's not about commanding outside of you. It's about commanding yourself.
Inside,
no, right. It's about presenting yourself in a form where you believe in yourself. So you commanding your presence, and that commanded presence will sometimes permeate or emanate out into everybody else.
You open your mouth. You got to command and control.
So let's stop fighting with me. I don't understand. Why you just say, hey, meet me outside. Meet me outside. But I appreciate your comment.
That was a false alarm. That was saying the fuck. Don't ring me along. Don't worry, I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. Don't worry about it.
Anybody else want some great wisdom from the great A.G. White, man?
I think it's all.
So listen, everybody. We want to thank everybody for coming. You can stay and watch the game, just eat or whatever. If you want to stay, we're gonna stay and watch the game and chill.
Yo, from top to bottom, though, we gotta thank everybody.
No, I'm getting ready to do that
From beginning
because
to end.
you guys came out here.
Oh, we got a question. Hold on.
It's calm.
I don't know if you remember me or not, but it's like so perfect. I had a trip to Jamaica with 189 people, and I hired you as talent. You remember that? A couple years ago, Tommy Allen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Travel.
You was funny. Yeah.
Thank
Gee, again, like I said, full circle.
If any of y'all came to my 50th birthday party, I don't know if any of y'all was there, right? Some of y'all was there, right? You remember him? He was the one that was looking from me. He was talking about, I was like, where's Safe at? Because I kept changing my clothes. He said, he doesn't change clothes. He's like, I want my money, Safe, man. Don't you walk out there, door. He trying to get up out of here. You remember?
Of course.
Yeah.
Was it all?
Yeah, you remember?
Yeah.
And it was, he showed my gazebo, all kinds, you know. Yeah. I had to put a tent on the stage.
Punch actually catered.
Yeah, matter of fact, Punch. Y'all know it. He was at Sam came. It was off the hook. It was really nice though.
It was a great.
We had a nice time. That came out that time.
But again, this goes to show you that if you stay right and if you do right by people, you can come to them years later if you're blessed to still be around and have this type of engagement, have that type of interaction, have that type of love. So give and command.
All my guests, right? All the guests that came and brought their stuff out, and the people that sat there listening to them. We know the sacrifices and the challenges that you went through and the challenges that you got coming. We know that because we definitely we face the same challenges. And then we just gotta pray. You don't have to be scared. You don't have to worry. As long as you pray and you pray on it and you just continue to put your foot forward. Don't allow other people to tell you what your blessings are supposed to be for you. Because a lot of times what we do is that we the doors are open for us, but we want to bring everybody into your blessings. And the blessings is not for them. The blessings for you. When you bless yourself, you can bless those. But try to bless yourself so you can help people. Don't think that you have to put everybody before you,
Right.
before you get you.
That's right.
That's not the case today. And then today, with the way the economy is and the way this thing's going, I just want to tell you, believe it or not, it's not going to get better unless we make it better.
That's right.
And you're not going to do it by yourself. So if you think you're doing it by yourself and you think you can do it by yourself, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not a selfish thing. You know what I mean? You can't do it. It's selfless. You can't do it. You gotta find people that your family, get tight with your family, get tight with your real friends, and keep in touch with them. Because you never know what's gonna happen to tomorrow.
That's right.
Because they really are trying. I know y'all want to sit back and it's not really happening. You want to. It's believe me, it's happening. You didn't think the World Trade Center was gonna happen, and what happened? You didn't think they were gonna sit in that water from over there. The water was gonna be sandy, right? You didn't think that either.
You didn't think COVID. You didn't think you was gonna get locked in your house for months.
I do want to say something about COVID because I was bringing that up to my friend this morning when we was on the way here. COVID made me a lot weaker. It made me. I'm not as strong as I used to be. I don't like to fight as much. I don't have that fight in me no more. But I think because that's what they're doing, because that's what the stuff that they got going on, we ain't fighting at all. So it's got to be something because we're allowing them to give us tolls. That's crazy right now. To go to Manhattan, you ain't got no money. We don't have enough money. We don't make enough money for us to be doing all these things, but we doing it, and we don't do nothing about it. So when you go to vote for the people that don't vote for the people that voted for that shit that going on. You know what I'm saying? Just get your life together, man, and we got to try to do it together. If you want to come here, we got a platform where we bring people here to talk to you, discuss comedy. You want to be funny? to learn how to be a comedian. He just gave you the blueprint.
Just gave you comedy gold.
You don't get this from you didn't get none of this from none of these guys. Kevin Hart, none of these guys. If somebody want to help you, he's helping you. So if you want to get up in front of the stage, these are people that's even lifted. That's going to look at it later.
Have an open mic, something. Try it. Try it. Take that leap.
Like you want to know, just like taking a lotto. You go in there and you pay $1 for the lotto ticket. You might not never win it, but you might get on here and think you're funny, and you might be funny. You make a couple people laugh. You have a couple people regular that's funny. Cena's funny. Cynthia's funny. Rennie, I don't know if y'all remember Rennie back in the days. There's a guy in the new project in the back. He got smoked out, but he was not as funny.
Talib was funny. Like, oh,
you know what I mean? You got Talib. Yeah, a lot of people. You got some people.
Wasn't it?
Vanessa.
Vanessa.
You got some one-liners. You got a lot of. Give it a shot. You know what I mean? But you won't be in a competition with people like this. He's a very, very structured person. He knows this game. M. Capone and all this. I think they should have been way in front of all these other guys. Everybody say that, but we don't know why. We figure just support these guys. When you see their name, A.G. White or Capone and the other guys, all these guys. I mean, he'll tell you who you want, whether to support. I was around some of these guys, and he's not one of them. He's not one of those guys that they forgot about me. I helped them out. They stayed in my house. They did all kinds of stuff.
I told my brother.
I'm not gonna put him on black because he's friends with you guys. So I don't really want to say his name. I'm just gonna say what it is. You know what I mean? Because he might be cool with him. I don't want to go through that. But y'all know who it is. I even brought him out here in the project when he was just trying to get his friends together. I used to have him all the time, hanging out with me all the time. And once he went to Hollywood, he went Hollywood. I never heard from him again. He don't owe me nothing. Don't get me wrong. He don't owe me nothing. It would just be nice if he come down and do what he did. You see what he did? He just came down and showed us some love. That's all I need. Just come out. Y'all want to show some love? Give the people some love. We got something different in here. So this is what we got. This is what we is. And Berline Talks. It's time to talk.
Berline Talks podcast.
Round of applause. Hell yeah.
With that, we're gonna close out. Get us something to eat. We've been here all day.
And before we leave, one more time.
We're gonna put on Sharif. We got some cakes here. Y'all told y'all. We really have some nice sweet cakes here for y'all. Take out the cupcakes and take some food for Ray. We're at Ratchet's Restaurant. Give me the address again. What's that? What's the number? 358. Yeah, y'all heard that. 358. Columbia Street. They got it going on with that food, y'all. We getting ready to eat right now, and I'm gonna tell you something. I ain't got nothing else to talk about. Thank you, everybody.